Well, welcome back, and we're going to get you some watermelon video today of the harvest. We're picking some red and yellow. I'm going to get some from the ground and some from the air, and when I get it from the air, I'll try to kind of narrate it and tell you what's what. So we're out here this morning. It is the 20th, I think, of August. We had a pretty good wind event yesterday. It wasn't really any rain, but it got pretty windy, so it kind of blew the vines back a little bit, but you can see the watermelon's a little better now. You can see them out here. The vines still looking pretty good. I hope they can last a few more weeks. One, two, three. Pretty hard to see till you get right up on them. Yeah, pretty big ones there, but then you got some smaller ones like this. It'll be like next week. Okay, I'm over here on the yellows now. Kind of see them a little better too, because like I said, that wind blew those leaves around. But you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 right here in just a small little area. This is our third watermelon planting, in case you haven't followed along through the season. We do the first two on plastic with drip, and then we do this last one on bare ground transplant with furrow irrigation. So normally I usually wrap it up by Labor Day. These were ready a little bit later, so we'll probably go a little bit past Labor Day, maybe a week. That's just a guess. So I would say we got about 3 good weeks. We've already been harvesting a week, but it's been a little bit scattered, so it's picking up a little bit more consistent now as far as what's ready. All right, this is my drone. It's a little DJI Mini 3. It's pretty small, but you know, you really don't need it big. It does a great job. Takes good pictures and videos. All right, let's get it up in the air and see what we can see. All right, you can see the Red River there in the background. It separates Caddo Parish from Bossier Parish. We're Caddo Parish on our side. Parishes are the same as counties for all you non-Louisiana folks out there. Okay, we're starting out over the river, headed back towards the watermelon field. You'll see I've got 10 blocks, and those skips are going to be the drive rows where we drive the trailers to harvest, and where I do my spraying. You know, when I'm spraying, I'm putting my boom out, and I get half of the section on each side of the drive row. And when I turn around, I'll catch the other half. That's why on each side, on the far left and the far right, it's only a half a block. You know, because when I'm spraying on those last outside drive rows, that's where my boom hits. That's the same way we do it on the plastic mulch. All right, this is coming in from the other direction. The lighting's a little better with the sun. All right, up ahead is going to be the 3 guys that are stacking them with their truck and trailer. All right, if you'll watch, they'll throw one to the person on the drive row, and he stacks them. And they're just going through there and checking them. You know, they're checking for the ones that are ready, not ready, they know what they're doing. I mean, we almost never have any that ever come back that are not ripe or too ripe. If they find some that are not any good for whatever reason, they throw them out on those middle roads and bust them. That's what you see out in those middle roads. And if you look just to the right of that drive roads, you can see where they've stacked them. You can't see them all, but they've stacked them. That way when they pull the trailer through, they'll be right there beside the trailer and they can throw them in. This will be a view just a little bit closer to the ground. That white truck down there is one of my extra guys. He was pulling some pigweeds, throwing them out in the middles. Just a view from a little bit higher up. You can see my peach orchard there on the left-hand side of the screen. All right, here's my sweet potatoes. You can see that blank spot there in the middle is a permanent turn row that I keep there all the time. Normally it's 2 different crops on each side of that turn row, but it just so happened to split the sweet potatoes in the middle this year. You can see that the field's pretty clean. If you remember on my last video, I had my pea guys going through there pulling some weeds while they were waiting on those next peas to get ready. We've got the water on. You can see that water a little bit around the poly pipe. It'll probably be the last time we water these potatoes. We'll cut the vines probably in about 3 weeks. And you can see my sprayer tracks too. I just got through spraying this past weekend. Usually by the time I get ready to come back and spray again, those vines have kind of taken back over and you can't hardly see the tracks anymore. These are all seeded watermelons. We don't plant seedless. There's really not that much of a demand here for me on the seedless. I mean, I bet I don't have 5 people when we're open to the public all summer ask me if they're seedless. Maybe they already know, I don't know, but this is pretty much seeded watermelon country. So to me, they're bigger. I think they taste better, and that's what the people want. So most of the breeding programs and the seed programs are going towards the seedless. So I hope that eventually they don't phase the seeded ones out. But as far as the hybrids go, you know, there's not a whole lot of options, especially on the yellows. They just kind of keep taking some of them away. But that's what we grow, and that's what the people like. That's what I like. I like the size, I like the taste. It's a lot of work for these guys because these watermelons get pretty big. A lot of tossing and catching, but they pace themselves and they know what they're doing, and I don't push them, and we get it done. Okay, we're in the purple hull field. That's what we're looking for right there. They pick in these mesh bags, and you know, you've seen that before. We bring them in and either sell them that way in the mesh bags, or we'll hold them to the next day and run them through the pea sheller. Got 2 trucks here. These 2 guys are on this end in a truck, and the other 2 are down there on the other end. I talked about machine harvest a little bit last video, but if you look right here on this one plant, you've got peas like this, you got peas like this, which will be picked ready now. You know, a little smaller ones, but they're still ready. You know, this is a variety is quick pick, which is bred for mechanical picking. There's a Mississippi top pick that probably puts a little more concentration right on the top. I like this variety better because of the color of the purple on the pods. But how in the world would you ever machine pick that? So that's why I don't do it. Now, if I was raising the top pick, maybe it would be a little easier. But it's just too much variability in the maturity. I mean, we can pick a good week, sometimes even 10 days if it's got enough moisture and not, you know, 100 degrees, which is pretty hot now. But anyway, now you can kind of understand why I've kind of shied away from the machine pick, because once you machine pick them, it's a once over deal, and that's it. You go through it one time and that's it. You know, I think on crops like green beans and maybe even butter beans, don't have a whole lot of experience with butter beans, but different type of beans versus peas, I think would be better. Now, I know there's people that pick purple hulls with machine, and maybe it all works out the same. You know, what you waste on the machine pick, maybe you would have never gotten all of them with hand picking. Maybe it all works out the same. But I like knowing when the guys drive in from the field to unload, what they have is ready to go. I don't have to do anything to it. You know, I can sell it just like it is. I can have people standing there waiting to get them, and I can sell them. I don't have to run them through any kind of shaker table or grater or mess with them and whatever. So as long as I can get the labor to hand pick them, that's the route I'm gonna go. All right, it's 10:30. We turned that water on the potatoes this morning about 6:30, so it's been about 4 hours. I'm about from here to the end down there is about how far the water has got left to go. That's how far it's been from here all the way to the road, the levee out there. See that water down in there in that furrow? You know, it's just slowly moving. Those vines will slow it up a little bit, but it usually takes about 7 or 8 hours, so we'll probably turn it off after lunch. Most of these sacks are probably going to be roughly 2 bushels, 40 to 50 pounds. Example, we use this scale right here, the hanging scale, 42 pounds. If I was selling them to the guys that were getting them in the big sacks, I'd write 42 on this tag right here. But what they're picking today, we're going to run through the pea sheller tomorrow, so there's no reason for me to write the weight or even weigh the bags. But That'll give you an idea. Pretty heavy, a lot of peas in those sacks. Those 4 guys will pick well over 1,000 pounds of peas every day. This is just a half a day here at lunch. All right, I put a watermelon in one of those pea sacks. 37 pounds. Say there's probably not a whole lot of them that are 40 pounds, but probably almost all of them are 30 or above. You know, we handle these watermelons, you gotta stack them on the drive road, then you gotta throw them on the trailer, and then you gotta unload them. So technically they're handled 3 times. Remember I told you a few videos ago that we make appointments now that we're not open to the public, so these guys have an appointment when to come. That way I don't have a bunch of people trying to fight in line and all that. All right, now I'm gonna do a little video tailgate taste test, which probably is an oxymoron, but I'm gonna show you what it tastes like. This is my watermelon cutting knife I use in the house. Knife that looks like a watermelon, pretty handy little knife. And we're gonna cut this bad boy right here. Well, if you could smell it, you would know it's ready because it smells pretty good. I will tell you this, my favorite food in the whole wide world is watermelon. I could eat it 365 days a year. Every day that we're harvesting watermelons, I take one home and we eat it in the evening. I would do that every day, and the last watermelon of the season is a very sad day because I know I'm not going to get any more until the next year. But I love it. I don't know if it's good for, I think it's pretty good for you, but I don't know about overindulgence, but I eat a lot of it. There's probably not anybody that I know that eats more watermelon than me, but it's just so good. You know, I'll take one home. If it's just me, you know, I clean out that whole thing, usually right when I get home, usually before supper. Put the other one in the refrigerator, do it the next day, then bring another one home. It's pretty addicting. All right, we did not get to the yellow watermelons today. We'll probably get some tomorrow, so I'll show you a little bit of that when we're picking those up. In the field the next morning, we got the cantaloupes picked up, hauled in, and now they've stacked these yellow watermelons and we're getting ready to pick them up. This variety of yellow meats is 4456 from Highmark Seed out of Georgia. I know they watch my videos sometimes, so I give them a little plug. I mentioned a little bit yesterday how there's not a lot of seeded hybrid yellow watermelons left, and so this is a good variety. They make a lot, yield well, taste good, and a little bit different shape than the red, more kind of a roundish oblong, but they've done well for us. Watermelon purple hull pea combo right here. Here's another one just like it, except he's got a few cantaloupes on top of the watermelons.
That's it? So, I don't know.
I will say this, I would not attempt to do anything that we do without water. That's the only way we consistently make the good crops that are uniform and, you know, look the same, yield well. That, and of course the grace of God who looks after us every single day of our life. But I would not even try to do it if I wasn't able to water at all, because the weather patterns are way too unpredictable. All these crops have got to have consistent water. Just like now, we're trying to get ready to plant stuff in August, our driest time of the year. We got to be able to pre-water, then water. It's just, it makes it crucial. So if you're trying to be a vegetable farmer out there, you better make sure you got water first, and then labor. All right, we're going to end the video here. I've got the water on the cabbage. Like I talked about on the last video, we're doing it the same way we do in the greens, trying to get these peas to come up. You might have noticed we got 3 holes per row on every row. You have to take the size of the field based off of the water volume, you know, because you don't want too much pressure on that poly pipe. So sometimes you got to put more holes or make zones, and you have to know how much water you're putting out. So for this small cabbage field here, 3 or 4 acres, we're had to put 3 holes in every row. So it won't take it long to get to the other end. And then I'll cut it off and let the peas come up, spray it. We're probably gonna plant the cabbage right after Labor Day. So we're gonna wrap the video up here. This is what we do every day. Every single day we pick watermelons, cantaloupes, until we don't have any left. So this will probably be the last week of the peas, and I just hope I can get 3 weeks left on the watermelons, which I think I can. So that's what we'll be doing until then, and until then, we will see y'all next time.